up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hello. Are you frozen?
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty accurate of how I feel right now, is how this just started. So
Just black screen.
black screen, just nothing here right now. I had a busy weekend. I did 5 gigs in the last 4 days, so it was a lot.
I'm right there with you. I think I might be one short, but yeah, it was just one after other, and luckily they're all different enough. So tell me about yours.
Let's see. Thursday I did Killer Queen down on the Banks, which you've been to, so you know that spot. It was like the kickoff of Thursday night football and NFL, and coming out of the holiday weekend, so it was pretty slow of a night there, but we got through it and it was fine. Friday I was at my regular Friday night gig, which is Fishbowl, and it was another slower night to where it was just like you're constantly just like fishing all night to like see what's going to work, and then by the time you realize it, it's just the end of the gig. So it was that all night. Saturday I did a spot I haven't played a while on a Saturday night in a long time. It's a really fun spot. You've been there as well. It's called Rosedale. It's kind of like the equivalent to like the bungalows, where it's like it's outside, you're set up outside. It was busy. It weirdly got cold here. So it was like 75 degrees during the day and was perfect. And then at night it dropped down to like 50 degrees. So it was kind of just got a little too cold for people to want to stay the whole night. And yesterday, Sunday, I played after the Bengals game on the Banks at Stretch, and I thought it was going to kind of suck because we lost. It ended up being a great night. And Flipside was in town, and he came and hung out for a good portion of the gig. So that was pretty cool. He's in town because he's the DJ for the men's U.S. men's soccer team. So they have a game here in town on Tuesday, and he just came and hung out, which was fun. It's always nice when other DJs come and hang out and just want to chill.
Yeah, shout out Flipside. Yeah, mine was just same kind of just all my residencies, nothing out of the ordinary. I did do Heat, that was cool, but which is kind of like a big nightclub, Vegas style. That was a lot of fun, but otherwise, yeah, just normal weekend. So going into a giant weekend though, got a travel wedding coming up in Wisconsin and flying into Minneapolis, and got a bunch of big corporate events this week. So we'll report back to those after this airs. But yeah, it's giant week. So wrap it up.
I believe you pronounced it wrong. T-Pain says it's Wisconsin. So if you really want to listen to how you're supposed to pronounce it, it's Wisconsin.
It's definitely Wisconsin. That's going to be interesting.
Was the Saturday gig was the cowboy one, right?
It's like cowboy themed. Lewis Lux was one of the main DJs. I opened and closed, and he played the middle slot. And they wanted to. Everyone is trying to jump on the bandwagon of the Cowboys, but turns out not everyone likes it. So turns out the kids aren't all into it. There's like, so it was here or there, whatever.
That happens. Well, let's get things started a little bit here today. We got a great guest. I'm excited to chat with him. He is from sunny South Florida. He's shared the stage with some of the biggest names in the industry: Marshmello, Tiesto, Diplo, James Hype, and others. He is a producer. He DJs at one of the biggest clubs probably out right now. He has a new album dropping in a couple months, and we're going to chat a little bit about that. And let's bring him on. Let's welcome Mr. Gray.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Good.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
No, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it for sure.
Well, let's get started with your weekend. What did you do this weekend?
First thing, I want to get started by saying your intro to this podcast is the most amazing thing ever. I loved it so much. Oh man, honestly, like I want to listen to that. If I'm ever feeling down, I want to watch that for sure. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'm like, you know what? I need to go look at that intro. It's phenomenal. You guys did a great job with it for sure.
Shout out to DJ Phrase. He was just on, and he's telling us he's going to do a remix for it coming up. But he that's him singing. He did all of it, so he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he did a great job for sure.
Yeah,
we when we originally did it, everybody that listens probably tired of us talking about this, but Drew sent him like the "Everything Is Awesome," the Lego song, and he was like, "Do something like this," and he came back to us with that, and we didn't make any changes. We were like, "This is perfect."
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Definitely hit a grand slam with that one for sure. So yeah, let's get into my weekend. My week actually starts Wednesdays normally. So this past week I had 11 on Wednesday and 11 on Thursday. So I have those 2 nights in a row every once in a while. Like I swap with a couple of the resident DJs. We kind of rotate Wednesdays there. But
and Wednesday's popping, huh? It's Wednesday's like I've always considered Wednesday to be the Sunday of nightlife. If that makes sense, meaning like it's like everybody else's Sunday night where nobody wants to do anything. You're like catching up and getting ready for the week. It's just that it's just a night that's never worked for me.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely tough. It's definitely a tough night. It's still a decent night, but it's not busy. We have people popping bottles. We got people there till like 8 o'clock in the morning still. It's pretty wild. Like people in Miami are pretty wild. Like when they come to Miami, they get crazy. I have a lot of people that come there and friends, and they'll come there because they have a flight at like 7 in the morning, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang out here until I have to leave for my flight because we don't close. So,
that's something I would do.
Explain for anybody that might not know that's listening what 11 is.
So 11 is technically an ultra club is what they call it, and it is a nightclub and strip club combined. So basically, I
didn't know
DJ.
That.
Yes,
I didn't realize that. Well, he told me there's a lot of naked chicks, but I didn't realize that was part of the club.
Dude,
okay.
yeah,
it's a main part of the club.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're not fully nude, but they're topless, and it is a strip club, and it's not like a normal strip club. It's played like a nightclub. So I don't get on the mic. I don't tell the girls when to come up on stage and stuff like that. We do have 3 stages, and it looks like a nightclub, except for it has a pole in the center of the dance floor, and the girls are dancing.
Right.
But it's played, and like musically, it's a nightclub.
Right. And you can get lap dances and do it. It's basically is a strip club, just musically a nightclub.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly how it works. Yeah.
But it's also like lights, LED, like it's like full on nightclub in there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. They basically took the best elements of Vegas nightlife and the best elements of the strip club life and put it into one building.
It's amazing.
I've been there before. I don't remember if there was anybody there the night I was there other than like resident DJs. But it was a while ago. I want to say it was like 2019 when I was there.
Right before the pandemic?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we always have guest DJs every night. So like as resident DJs, we have to be there a long time. I'm there 12 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's a shift for sure.
It's a long.
You go to your car and power nap it out? Do you have a cots in the back?
No.
A lot of Red Bull?
Yeah. So yeah, I did. I was addicted to caffeine for quite some time. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Um, yeah, no, I actually had to slow down on caffeine recently because I don't know, it just my mind was going crazy. I was drinking like 2 cups of coffee and like 2 or 3 energy drinks every day. It's like too much.
Right.
But yeah, there when I play there, I do have to rely on some sort of caffeine or something. I try to stay away from energy drinks while I'm there. They do have a coffee machine in the back, so I do get some espresso or something at like I'll get it at like 6 o'clock in the morning because I actually live an hour away from 11. I don't live close at all.
Oh man.
So
So
I
even
have
that drive home. Fuck.
yeah, at 9 in the morning I have to drive an hour north.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what is when you get there, like run us
Yeah, what
through like a typical night, like how it kind of works for you.
Okay, so when I get there, the day DJ's there and he's playing. Normally he just plays mixes because there's really not a lot of people there during the day. They do get some people that stay at the bar during the day or come in a little bit early, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. They'll come in. And for the most part during the day, there's a curtain that closes off the main area from the main bar. So the main bar, when you first walk in, you walk in and the main bar is right there. And then if you walk to the left, that's where the main dance floor and the main stage is and the DJ booth and all that stuff. So when you go to the left, there's curtains that you can close. So we close those usually at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And then pretty much the entire day, it's closed off the main
yeah,
area. So it's just a bar. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So when
Right.
I get in there at like 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, I just set up, I put a mix on, and I kind of, work on music.
Yeah.
I always have both my laptops, and um, I actually started not using my laptop there about a month and a half ago. So now I'm only on flash drives when I play there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
You found a benefit, or I mean, I can't imagine it was you switched because of the heat because you would have done it a long time ago. But
oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, what are you finding the advantage of being on
um
record box?
Honestly, I did it to kind of get myself out of my comfort zone. Because when I travel and I play like a 2-hour gig, I don't really want to have to set up a laptop and do all that stuff. And yeah, it's good sometimes, and I am still more comfortable with my laptop, but I'd rather play off of a flash drive. Go in there with basically just headphones and a flash drive, and boom, you're good
Right.
to go.
Yeah.
Um, that's really
Well,
the only benefit, honestly.
Do you find it
so
freeing though? Like you're just like, I don't have this laptop in front of me. I'm just playing what I have here.
Yes, that's actually a huge part of it too, is that I'm able to, interact with the crowd a little bit more. Even though like, you obviously have to search through your tracks and stuff like that. I don't have pre-planned sets, so it's not like, oh look, I know what's coming up next. I'm
Right.
not doing
Right.
that. So I have to actually search. I'm looking at the room trying to like gauge what I should play next or what I should play over the next like 10 songs. Like personally, my mind works in a way where I'm prepared for everything. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like if a song doesn't work, I need to have another song that's ready to go that I know is going to work.
Yeah.
So with the CDJ 3000s, it makes searching a lot easier. It makes
For sure.
so much stuff so much easier. Um, I recently had to use 2000s, like older 2000s too, like not even the Nexus 2000s.
Yeah.
And that was very challenging. It was definitely challenging, but I'm always up for the task. I can play on anything. I tell everybody, look, you put a rack mount CD player in front of me, I'll play on that. I don't care.
Yeah, I was on turntables at S9 last night, and somebody was like, "What do you prefer to play on?" It's one of the guys or one of the regulars, and I was saying, "I don't give a fuck. Like whatever the club has, whatever makes me not have to carry something in, then I'm down." Like
That's how I
you
am
know,
too.
I
True
really
story.
could care less as long as I don't have to do any extra work besides play. Well, we want to talk a lot about your crate organization and record box and that kind of stuff here once we get down to music.
Let's
But-
circle back around to the like what. So you get there at 9, you kind of
Oh, yeah.
put a mix on and hang out,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
how's
so like basically I kind of watch people come in. Usually we don't start getting busy until about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I have about an hour to an hour and a half to do certain things that I need to do. Whether it's make music, send out emails, whatever, do things around the club. Um, so then I start mixing probably around 10:30 normally. And then the guest DJs normally go on around 2, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I just kind of hang out.
and it's you're not doing like an opening style set. Like me and Fuse were curious about what an opening set looks like for some of these guest DJs, even the bigger DJs, right? You holding back at all, or it's like if it's going on at 2, you're just balls to the walls for those couple hours.
Yes and no. So I kind of do a reverse set. So once it gets busy around like 12, 12:30, I'm playing peak hour stuff. And then
Right.
I
Yeah.
kind of go into some throwback stuff.
Right.
I'll
and you kind of
play-
like calm it down before
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's what I
yeah, so
figured.
like the last like 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes is, not so energetic, but enough to where it keeps people interested and they don't look at me funny.
Right.
And the girls aren't requesting songs or having any of their like go-to tracks. I mean, it's a nightclub, so I know they don't have the same picks as like a standard strip club, but they're not coming up and just asking for songs.
No, not normally. Most of them know not to do that, but I have a good relationship with most of them because they've been there for a long time and I've been there
Right.
a long time. So I usually know what they like and
Yeah.
I'm able to kind of gauge my set based on when I see them because they go to, they start off at one stage like in the back, so I can't even see that. And then they come up to another stage, which is the middle stage, and I can see them. So once I see them there, I'm like, all right, I need to kind of push my set in the direction of what they want. And most of them want reggaeton or dembow or something like that.
Right.
Because there's a lot of Latin women that work there.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I just play music and they dance to it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Drew, I mean, it's open, never closes. Drew, if you went in there, you'd never leave. We'd be
Well,
like, he's gone. We lost
Yeah.
him. He's gone forever. It's
Well,
Drew's black hole.
I've never been to a strip club, so I'll have to make that my first one if I ever go.
Wow, never been to a strip club. I mean, I was never really into strip clubs until I
I'm
started.
joking.
Oh, okay.
I'm joking. I'm
All right.
joking.
I actually was never really into strip clubs until I started working at one.
Mhm.
Like I might have been to a strip club 8 times, 10 times before
Right.
I started working at 11, which was about 10 years ago.
Right. 10 years
Crazy that-
for residency is
I know.
fucking insane. That is
It is
impressive.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
mean, 10 years for a venue to be open
Yeah.
is pretty outstanding, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, they sound like they got the formula.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely know what they're doing when it comes to managing clubs and branding specifically, obviously.
They have like a
Right.
Formula One team, don't they? Or something like that? Or-
Yeah, they sponsored a Formula One car. Yeah. I don't know if they do
Insane.
anymore, but they did for quite a few years. And a NASCAR, I believe. But they
Insane.
actually, like, they're building 2 condos, 11
Wow.
residencies. Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, I
I got a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So when the headliner goes on at 2 or 3, what time did you say?
Normal. So when I'm there on Thursdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's 2 a.m.
Okay.
So they'll play, if it's a traveling DJ, usually they only do 2 hours, so it'll be like 2 to 4. If it's a
Okay.
local DJ, it'll be 2 to 5.
Gotcha. And then at 5 a.m. you jump back on again?
Yep.
And you're paying attention the whole time, or it's just fucking blank slate, go back in?
Yeah, I pay attention fully. Thursdays, they're very particular because Live has a Latin night on Thursday. So usually that crowd comes to our venue right after they are done at Live. So I'll gear my set more towards Latin music than anything. So I'm playing a lot of Latin house and dembow and reggaeton and stuff like that. But I usually play, a lot of house music later at night.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then you're there until 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yeah.
9 a.m. That is, it's just
Yeah.
crazy. It's a long day for sure.
It's definitely very tough. Like doing 2 in a row is very, very hard.
Yeah.
Like I have the best blackout curtains in my room.
Oh yeah.
You have to. You have to.
It's a
I mean,
must.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a must. And one of the things you told us when we were kind of preparing for this is you don't drink either. So there's no way you're drinking on a 12-hour shift anyways. You got to stay alert.
I mean,
is
I
that
used
because
to.
of this gig. Yeah.
I used to drink way too much. So I have the type of personality that when I like something, I don't want to stop doing it.
Right.
So whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's speeding, if I like it, I just want to do it. Uh, it almost got me in a lot of trouble. Where I probably would have lost my gig at E11ven, and I probably would have gone to jail,
Right.
and so I just, I had to wake up and realize that this is not the way that somebody in my position should be acting in general. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether it's, having a couple drinks or whatever. But my problem is once I started, I couldn't stop, like as DJs, when we go to the bar, all the bartenders know us. They like us if we're good DJs. If we're bad, they obviously hate us. But luckily, most bartenders like me, and they want to give me the most alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, hey,
right.
can I have a shot of Jameson? And it's like a triple shot. I'm like, oh, thanks. If I wanted
Yeah.
like a red Solo cup filled with Jameson, I would have just brought my own bottle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would become an issue. Like I was probably, by the time the guest DJ came on, I probably was about 12 shots of Jameson in.
Fuck. Yeah, it'd be hard to keep up that gig drinking
Yeah.
like that. Definitely. That's impressive. So I always like to ask because I'm a lot like you in that sense. Once it touches your lips, it's so good.
Oh yeah.
Your tips or tricks, like what keeps it just the level headedness of not doing it.
So I'll basically go to when I first stopped. So it was very, very hard when I first stopped drinking, and I had
Yeah.
to force myself to not do it. So it after years, it just becomes like a habit, reaching for that glass, reaching for that
Oh yeah.
drink. You know what I'm saying? And like I would catch myself turning around looking for it,
Right.
looking for that drink. So I started chewing gum. I
Ah,
chew an insane amount of gum.
makes
So
sense.
that's a key for me. Just like when you stop smoking cigarettes, it's a habit. It's something that you need. A lot of people just need to replace it. My father was an alcoholic and drug addict, and
Right.
he had to replace that with something.
Right.
And a lot of addicts, that's what they have to do. They got to replace it with something. So I basically replaced it with gum. Like right off the bat, it was a crazy amount of gum. Like I was buying like just so many packages of gum. And now everybody knows that I always have gum with me. So, I'm the gum guy. If you need gum, I'm the gum plug. I got all the latest gum. No, I literally chew one type of gum, like Mentos gum. It's really random. Anyways, yeah, so that's really what it was. And then I started I realized that I needed to go back to why I started DJing in the first place, was because I loved music
Right.
and I enjoy helping people kind of take a break from regular life. Like a lot of us, we don't really realize that that's what they're there for. They want to escape what's outside of those doors just for a
Right.
little. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, I appreciate that, and I really look at that, and in a different light than some other people might. But all those people, when they come through those doors, I want them to have the best possible experience they can have. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do the same thing. For a long time, I kind of lost like what it was to have fun while I was DJing.
Right.
And why I started drinking was anxiety. I was always anxious on stage. I have stage fright. I used to never get on the mic. I always had issues with getting on the mic because
Yeah.
I was always anxious, always nervous, always afraid of messing up. And
Yeah.
that fear, you know, once I have a couple drinks, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sauced up a little bit, got the liquid courage going. Um, but so I had to kind of take a step back and, you know, just have fun again
Right.
without drinking,
Yeah.
So it took me a little while, a couple months, but I have more fun now than I ever did drinking.
Yeah. You're present,
Yeah.
and I see, I watch your social media and it shows from that. Just you're doing more, I guess. You can be more involved in the music and having a little bit more fun with just like mixes and ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy remembering what I played the night before when I wake up the next day.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
there were way too many nights where I was like, "What did I play last night?" What like, I would have to go through my history and see what I played. Like, "Oh, great, I played the same song twice in an hour. Awesome. I suck." You know what I'm saying? It's like, there were way too many like, I was blacking out probably 2, 3 nights a week.
Yeah, I can understand. It's a long shift, and the booze is flowing. With that, you are a family man, and how do you keep the balance of that 12-hour shift, a family, and staying relevant, and keeping up with all the stuff?
I mean, it's time management. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's the most important thing, and I teach that to my kids a lot. You got to spend your time the right ways. And for a while, it was my life was kind of in shambles, if you will. I was holding it together. Luckily, I'm a decent enough DJ, and I know enough people to where I was able to work a lot and do all that stuff. But like for probably a decade, it was like every day ran into each other. Like
yeah,
it was Groundhog Day, and I was just kind of going through the motions, and um, you know, I, my biggest thing was I wanted to make sure that I was a present father. My father
your
wasn't present. What's that?
How old are your kids?
19, 16, 11, and 6.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
A squad over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my son is a sophomore in college.
Wow. Okay. So
Yep,
you've
he's the
been through
first
the
one.
gambit with that. It
Yeah.
sounds like you got another one on the way, I'm guessing. I'm
No,
kidding.
no more. I'm 100% done with that. I mean, I love being a father more than anything.
Of
I
course.
love music, but being a father is the most rewarding thing that you could
Yeah.
ever do in your life, I think, personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I was gonna say, my dad wasn't really present. He was a workaholic. I am too. I definitely get that trait from him. I do enjoy my job, so it's a lot easier. I love what I do. So, working a bunch, doing 7 gigs a week, 8 gigs a week is not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Right.
like if you really add up the hours, we're working a full time job. If we're doing, like, if you're DJing 40 hours a week, that's a lot. If you
Yeah.
really break it down, like a lot of DJs here will average 4 to 5 hours per gig. So if you're doing 5 hours per gig, that's 8 gigs per week. That's a 40-hour work week,
Right.
Right.
But then obviously you have the time it takes to download music, to be, you have to be
It's
current. You got to stay
it's
current.
two jobs. It's two jobs in one. You
Correct.
got the office job, and then you got the out in the field job.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how I was able to, excuse me, how I was able to juggle everything, and how I'm still able to juggle everything is, I just don't sleep much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Time
ultimately that's
management.
what it is. Yeah.
A good calendar, getting up early. I watched this Casey Neistat video a long time ago, and he basically said the same thing. Like everyone always asks him how he says productive, and it's like you set your alarm clock earlier so you get all the shit done when no one's fucking calling you.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I would do is on my days off, my kids would go to sleep and I would be up until 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I'd wake up with them at 6:30 in the morning,
Right.
Right.
and I did that every day. I still do that whenever, like I don't, my youngest kids, they don't live with me. They live with their mother. So I see them a lot, but it's not like it's a constant. It's not every day. So there is that aspect of it. So it's a little bit easier than what it actually sounds like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
The summer, honestly, is the busiest time for me because they're
Of
out of school.
course. I know.
And, I'm doing vacations and, I still have to work. I still have
Yeah.
to continue to do, but I'll take off. I'm taking off work. And honestly, COVID made me appreciate time more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
not just time, with my kids, but time in general, like really appreciating the quality of time that we have on this earth, because we do a lot of things that, like play video games for 5 hours at a time or something like that. Or,
I had to get rid of mine because it's too much of a time suck.
yeah, I mean, I do believe that video games and things like that are good for problem solving and stuff like that, depending on
I agree.
obviously on what games you're playing. But our phones, you're scrolling through Instagram, looking at stupid shit all day. Like, come on.
Right.
And I've had to like just sit back and like, what am I doing? Like, I'm on my phone like 5 hours a day. And I was actually talking to Henry Fong recently, and he was like, look, start going on Instagram and actually looking at what people are posting and why they're posting it instead of just
Right.
looking.
Right.
Because you scroll through things and you don't think about why they're posting what they're posting. They're just posting up stuff. Some people have a rhyme and a reason as to what they're posting and why they're posting it. Other people just post to post.
Well, wait. I love this, and we're gonna play a social media clip, and we're gonna talk about social media because that's our next topic here. So,
Oh, perfect.
hit them with the social media views.
All right.
Drew and Fuse, all shook up, you hound dogs. Don't be cruel. There's now or never. Let's talk social media.
Well, I've been paying attention to your social media a lot
I love
lately,
it.
and I love that you're taking advantage of the fact that you are in the nightclub and you can do a lot of these routines and other stuff, showing people off, showing your skills off at the club. My question is, what's your setup inside there? And are you doing these early on or are these like peak hour?
So it really depends on the venue I'm at. So most of them are recorded at 11. And at first, I have a GoPro 10, and I have a couple different stands. Like I have a tripod that can kind of wrap around different things, and then I have something that like clips onto anything, and you can move it around. Um, but for the most part, for all those videos that are done at 11, it's the tripod, and there's like a little shelf above the CDJs and the mixer and stuff like that, to where most people put their laptops on.
Yeah.
And now, since I don't use my laptop, I put the GoPro there, and then I have a ring light that's where, like, basically underneath the shelf right behind the mixer. So the ring light just projects kind of a low light, but enough to where it makes the video look good. Because
Right.
I first started without the ring light and it looked like crap. It was grainy
Right.
and it was like GoPros are not made for dark settings at all.
Yeah.
So I had to mess around with some stuff. Like I literally recorded probably 25 different videos and
Yeah.
routines without the ring light. And I'm like, I can't use this. What am I doing?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, let me redo this. And some of the routines are done a little bit early, but most of it is done peak hour, and I just hit record on the GoPro and I record it, and I record either through my phone because I don't know if you guys have the DJM record app that Pioneer has. You can record
I
through your
don't.
phone through the mixer.
Okay.
So you just have to download that and then plug into the USB that's in the top right hand corner. I don't know what the actual name of the USB plug is.
Is
But
this
it's like where
only
the
on the
aux is.
900?
What's
Only
that?
on the 900, or is it
Uh,
an S11 or
I mean,
any
yeah,
DJM?
it's got to be any DJM
Okay.
uh, mixer. So we have the A9 there, and you know, so they do it like that. Sometimes I'll record just through my laptop, so I'll just hook it up into my laptop, open up Serato specifically for recording. That's what I did in Tampa this past weekend. I just recorded it like that.
Yeah.
And that's always good. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll just hit record on my laptop or on my phone, and then I'll hit record on the GoPro, and I'll just go do it. And a lot of times, I'm not even really recording me actually DJing. I'm recording one of my edits and me just kind of rocking out to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Which a good friend of mine, he told me quite a few years ago before I, really started focusing on social media was, you know, people want to see what you're doing. The
Oh yeah.
general public, they look at us as, something that's different, something that's fun, something that's cool. I just look at it as I'm a normal guy that happened to choose a career that is pretty fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? So I never really looked at it that way. But ultimately, the general public, they want to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's why they watch, the Kardashians or whatever, all this reality TV, because these people are doing things that they kind of wish they could do. You know what I'm saying?
Always. Always.
And so that kind of struck it. And I like when he said that, I started doing social media a little bit more, but I never really made it a habit. I never made it a priority. So now I'm like, all right, I need to go to the next level in my career. I'm playing at good spots. I'm able to travel. Uh, I'm a good DJ. I make edits. People play my edits. What's next? How can I get to the next level?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's music production. If I want to play any kind of like around the world at big clubs, festivals, etc., I have to make music. I have to make a good song that, Tiesto is going to play, that John Summit's going to play, that Don Wale is going to play. All these guys, I got to make a song that they're going to do, that they're going to play, that they're going to like.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Next thing is social media.
It's a free commercial. It's the only way to get it out there. I mean, like you're saying, we're flipping through these little 5-second clips. So they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Or their assistant is.
Yeah,
Somebody's
right.
fucking doing it, right? And grabbing these files. So yeah, it's perfect advertising to either get you another gig or do whatever. And I do like the way that you have it set up, and it's definitely something I've been thinking about incorporating, is just not having to get the crowd, just doing like a routine or just doing like what you're doing live.
Yeah, because you don't need to have the crowd reaction. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good to have a crowd reaction. It's good to see
Right.
that people are having a good time and having fun, because that's what ultimately that's what people want to see. But my goal is to gain general public followers. DJs, fine. A lot of DJs follow me. I have that. Like upper level DJs, not so many follow me. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I care about the general public. Those are the people that are coming to my venues and spending money.
Right.
DJs, they want to get in on the guest list. They want a drink ticket. They want, they don't want to pay for stuff. Most of
They're
them,
an
a lot of them.
awful fucking bunch. Let's be
Uh,
honest.
I'm perfectly fine with I look, I don't mind. Come to my venue. I'll get you on the guest list. I'll give you some drinks. I'm a very
Yeah.
cordial person. I love when people come to see me, especially DJs, because you know, I view it as a big community, and we need to view it like that more often. Is you know, DJs helping DJs. There's enough work out there for everybody,
Oh yeah.
and I'm the type of person that will help people whenever I get a chance.
Right.
Whether it's with trying to get gigs or music production or them trying to figure out what their next step is.
Right.
Because I was there. I've
Yeah.
always my biggest downfall is me trying to do everything myself. And it's good and bad. Good
Well,
because I learned a lot over the years.
well, and that's also the way we came up. There wasn't people weren't as generous with the helping, and
Yeah.
there wasn't the YouTube, and there wasn't the this. It was, let me watch this videotape 1,000 times and see what the fuck he just did.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just want to finish here with social media, and then I wanted to get into music. But what if you could give any tips or tricks to people that are doing? I mean, besides just fucking do it, just go. Like, is there anything you've learned as you've kind of done this that's really stuck?
Ultimately, it's instead of scrolling through social media just to scroll through social media and see what everybody's doing, look at it from a business standpoint and try and see what all these viral videos, why they're going viral, and
Right.
and emulate that and copy that. It doesn't matter. I don't want to copy other people. Do it. Why not?
Right.
Everybody else is doing it.
Right.
Who cares? Nobody.
Yeah.
Ultimately, nobody cares.
I think
Nobody's
the
gonna
why is-
look at it and be like, "Oh, I just saw that. Why did he do that? He did the same exact thing." Yeah, so did 1,000 other people. Like, who cares?
I think the why is important too, and like the why as in like, why am I posting this and who am I posting it for? Like, if I'm a wedding DJ and my goal is to gain more clients, I might be posting something different than a DJ who's doing routines necessarily for like other DJs to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
for
I think
sure.
it's very important question to ask yourself what you're who you're trying to attract. And you've already mentioned you want to attract the general public. You're trying to let them in on what you do, which I think is great. And I think, just sometimes you see people posting, like you said, just to post, and there's no intent behind it at all. And that's fine in some senses. But if you're trying to build something, there needs to be intent behind it, or else it'll just keep being.
Correct.
It's a business plan. It's kind of in a sense, right? It's like, what's your social media business plan?
Not even in a
Right?
sense. It's 100% a business plan. And that
Yeah.
honestly, like the business aspect of this career that I chose is the thing that I dislike the most. I want to
Same.
be creative. I want to enjoy myself, but
Right.
ultimately it is a business and we're the CEOs. I actually
Right.
sent my son a video this morning about a guy just saying that, basically we're the CEOs of our lives. Everything bad that happens in our lives is our fault. Everything good that happens is our fault. If you're in a business and that business fails, who's to blame? The CEO. If that business does well, who's to blame? The CEO. So
sure.
ultimately, we are the CEOs of our lives. We are the CEOs of our careers, etc. So, looking at it in that aspect, you're going to have to make whatever changes you need to make to get to where you need to be. Just do
You
it.
want-
Like,
you wanna
stop
be
procrastinating.
You want to be Blockbuster? You want to be Netflix? you want to think ahead, or do you want to fucking get stuck in the thing?
Prime example, man. I used to I used to rip Netflix DVDs. I would order
I did the same fucking
DVDs and I
thing,
would just
dude.
copy them and send them back.
I did that exact thing at my office job. I was
The good old days. The good old days.
well, I want to move into music here. There's a lot to talk to you about music, and we should have a music video.
We got this one. I'll air this one.
Yes.
We haven't done this one in a while.
I'm excited.
Hey, what is up, Drew and Fuse? It is Mark McGrath from the band Sugar Ray, off the charts, but always in our heart. Hey, Drew and Fuse, when I'm not busy being the handsome, dashing fella that I am, at least had a few good years in the 90s, I work on music, like writing hit #1 songs like Fly and Every Morning. Maybe someday you'll have a hit. Let's talk production. Let's talk inspiration. Actually, you know what? I don't even like Drew and Fuse. Who are they?
Yo,
All right.
seriously, I fucking love you guys. That was my girlfriend is gonna freak out. She loves Sugar Ray.
Well, so when you're writing song titles for all your songs coming up that we're going to talk about, you need to have song title names that you can work into every sentence. Someday you're gonna fly every morning. You know, it's
So
just
amazing.
like
That was
you know,
that was almost as good as the intro. Almost. It was pretty close.
Dude, Sugar Ray has my favorite album title of all time, and it's 1459. And it was because he titled it that after the first single came out, and it did so well that their 15 minutes of fame was almost over. So that's why it was
Oh,
1459.
that's so good.
Yeah.
well, because they only did the one
That's crazy.
song that was what everyone liked, and the rest was like new metal.
Yeah.
Drew, are we frozen? Did we lose him?
Music,
Oh, all right, he's back. He's back. All right.
Yeah, you just gotta let it go sometimes.
it keeps hitting, dude. I don't know what it is, but
It's that California internet.
we want to talk music. We were touching on this earlier in the episode. You're on Record Box now. Crate organization. It's something I know basically every DJ struggles with. The transfer from Serato over to Record Box. Are you doing tons of tagging? Is it just crates on crates on crates? How are you going about this new way of organization?
All right, so there is a program that does transfer your Serato crates to Record Box.
Record Buddy?
I think that's what it is. And I tried that a while ago, even before I really started focusing on using flash drives. And I didn't like how it did it, so I stayed away from that. So me being the person I am, I decided, oh, I've got all this free time. Let me let me just do it all manually myself. Yeah. So that's what I do. I basically started from scratch, and I do basically emulate what I have in my Serato, but it's actually more organized than my Serato. And my Serato is pretty organized. Like when people look at my laptop, they're like, "Dude, you're probably the most prepared DJ I've ever seen."
Yeah.
But I
can
think
see
I'm
the
not
advantage.
prepared.
Well,
What's
I can see the advantage of going back and forth because you're intentional about what's getting in, right? And that's where I'm trying to be with my Serato now. And you're doing that with Record Box, which I'm jealous of because I'm trying to be intentional about what goes into Serato moving forward. I don't want to just throw everything in and then deal with it later. It's just like I don't even want it to make it in there if I don't like look at it and then just delete it or put it on an external.
Yeah. So if you're just starting out, or even if you have like 45 different crates, what I suggest is just let's say you've already got 45 crates, different, like set up differently, whatever. Make a folder, put all that in there, all of it.
Yeah.
Start fresh. And how I organize my stuff is I'll have genres. Okay, that's my first one. I'll start separating into very base genres. So
What's a genre tag for you? Tens pop, tens house.
I'm not going that deep.
Tech,
I'm definitely not going that deep. So
grimy house.
I'll do house. I'll do top 40. I'll do
Yeah.
Latin / reggae because those are basically in the same, genre, BPM normally. And then I'll do hip hop and R&B, and then I'll do like hip hop remixes. So like that'll be like house remixes of hip hop records because I play a lot of that. So I want to have
Right.
that separate. But that's pretty much it. Like it's pretty
Okay.
bare bones when it comes to that. I don't break it down into. I tried to do that once where I went on Beatport and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get so organized with my EDM. It's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna be the
Yeah.
best. Yeah, no, that takes way too long. I'm good with
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Because ultimately, so probably 6-7 years ago, I started every year. I would basically just drag all my histories from the entire year and put it into a folder just to
Right.
see how many songs I actually played that year. And it's never been more than 3,000, maybe 4,000. So
Right.
think about that for a second. Why do I need all these folders?
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to get down to
I'm
5,000. I'm currently at 7,500, but it's taking me some time.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, most gigs that I play personally, it's top 40, it's, high energy dance music, it's
Right.
a little bit of house music, and then Latin and hip hop. You know, that's it. So that's
You
all I
only,
need.
you only want the bangers. Yeah.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I do have gigs that I do. Like, I'll do a bar called Fat Cats, and they let me play whatever I want. Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
I usually do it as like a Monday night, so it's a random night, and I'm just like, you know what? This is where I can kind of do whatever I want to do. Like, I'll start off playing hip hop and R&B, and go into house music, and then end with drum and bass. Like, it's a wild amount of different genres that I play. So, it helps to be organized when I'm doing that, but for most of my gigs, that's what it is. And then I'll have my residencies and stuff like that, I'll have like, let's say an 11 folder, and then I'll break it down into the times. So I'll have a 10 to 11 crate, 11 to 12 crate, 12 to 1 crate, 1 to 2 crate.
Yeah.
And then that way I can kind of set up the songs in those crates to kind of guide the mood of the night. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Mhm.
when I'm opening up for Marshmello or Tiesto or something like that, it's strictly time. There's no
Right.
genre, no nothing. I'm doing my research. I'm finding out I'll go on 1,001 track list. I'll go on YouTube, look at what they've been playing the last 6 months. That way I don't even go close to anything that they're playing. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I'll look at that. I'll formulate what I'm gonna play. I'm not, I'm still mixing and picking songs on the fly, but I'll have like 50 to 60 records in an hour. Obviously I'm not playing 50 to 60 records in an hour, especially if it's house music. I'll play like maybe 25 or 30 of those.
Right.
So, but I'll have them at like specific styles, you know what I'm saying? Like tech house into, maybe some, like high energy, big room stuff. You know what I'm saying? It really depends on who I'm playing for, who I'm opening up for. But that's how I do it. Like the time thing actually is a game changer. And I know a lot of DJs don't do that. But a
I've
DJ friend of
tried.
mine did that a while ago, and he showed me. I'm like,
Yeah.
that actually makes a lot of sense.
Right. If you're redoing them every month or so, I could see how that would be super valuable. Yeah, I've tried and my brain just goes all over the place. Too ADHD
Yeah, no,
to
I
be
get
like,
that.
yeah. Then I just end up playing songs in the later or going back, jumping all around.
So yeah, recently, like I played in Indiana, and it was a college party, and
Right.
I had 3 crates, 3 in my flash drive and my record box folder, and one was TikTok songs.
Right.
Probably the best crate ever because I know they're gonna sing along to them. I know they're gonna do dances to them, but I want to make sure that I hit all those TikTok songs because
Yeah.
that's gonna be what's super relevant right then and there. And
Right.
then I have high energy / top 40. And then I have hip hop and hip hop remixes. And that's it. That's all I took there.
Brat Girl Summer.
Yeah, frat girl. Charlie XCX, she is killing it. She's
She
doing a
is
great
killing
job
it.
right now. I'm happy for her. Like her album actually has some really cool records on it, honestly.
I've always been a big fan, and I mean, she does all of her own. She does most of her own production, right?
I
Isn't
have
she
no
producing?
idea. Does she?
I thought she was. Yeah, she's at least writing a lot. You know, she did that Icona Pop record. I love it. She did
Yeah.
Fancy. She's writing for so many artists, and you know, at least she's writing, whether she's doing the production or not. But yeah, props to her.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crazy how many people are writers before they blow up
yeah,
as singers.
Google
Yeah.
says she started her career self-written and self-produced in
Oh,
2008.
nice.
yeah.
Damn.
That's why I've always been a big fan. Is just because she does her own stuff. And speaking of production here, why don't we?
No.
Uh-oh. Ah, he's frozen. Oh, you
There we
froze, so
go.
you got to
There we
start it
go.
all over again.
All right. So speaking of production, a nice little segue there. Why don't you get into what you're using and yeah.
Yeah,
DAW,
I
your
use
DAW.
Ableton.
Okay.
Yeah, I use Ableton. I actually
11,
started off
12, 10.
I just upgraded to 12 because DJ Ruin, who I started doing stuff with again about a year and a half ago. We had a bunch of stuff we did like a decade ago, and we worked together for quite a long time, and then we kind of like did our own thing for a little bit, and now we're back, and he has 12. So for us to pass stuff back and forth, I had to upgrade, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever, it's not a big deal. It was a big deal actually. They did make a lot of changes, so I'm
They made
like,
a
all
lot
right,
of changes.
I gotta learn some things, especially with how it's laid out and how to navigate certain things. But
I
I'm
like
a
it
pretty
better.
quick learner.
It's just like frustrating because I'm
Yeah,
so quick on the other ones with certain shortcuts, and yeah, that part's frustrating. But otherwise, it's not bad.
yeah. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Just the look and how things are set up is a little bit different. But yeah, that's what I use. And then I might get flamed for this by people, but I use Splice a lot.
We use Splice.
Yeah.
I use Splice a lot.
So the album I'm coming out with, lots of Splice stuff in there.
Nice.
And honestly, like I thought about hitting them up to like collab with them and say, hey, look, I used a ton of your stuff for this album. Let's collab. But I just don't have those connections. So
Yeah.
but
Well, hey, the espresso track is all Splice, right?
Right.
And
yeah, right.
so
I
that's
mean,
kind of what it
look,
is.
I view it like this. When I was a graphic designer, I was only as good as the resources that I had. And the more resources you have, gosh, I can't talk. The more resources you have, the more options you have, the better the outcome can possibly be. So why not? Why not use it? Do I
Right.
write, my own melodies? Yeah, a lot of the times. Do I create my own bass lines? Yeah, sure. A lot of the times. Do I take bass lines and chop them up from Splice? Yeah. Why not? You know what I'm
Fuck,
saying? Like,
old
look at all
reggae
these.
shit is from like Casio keyboards. Like one of the most famous rhythms is like the pre-made drum loop that's on an old Casio keyboard, or fucking what's Umbrella came from like a
Oh yeah, from
garage
GarageBand.
band loop.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's like
Yeah.
yeah, don't overthink it. Fucking use what's in front of you. It's there for a reason.
Correct. And ultimately, it's the general public is not going to know or care. All they care about is, does this song resonate with me? Can I relate to
Right.
this song? Is this song catchy? That's it.
Right.
And that's
Right.
that ultimately that's who pays our bills.
Right.
Other DJs don't necessarily pay our bills. Do we want them to play our records? Of course we want them to play our records. But those DJs aren't going on Spotify listening to your song 100,000 times. They're not. It's the general public. And I used to make songs. So the album I made for me. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. That's just like what it is. Like I used to care so much about the music I made. I was like, can I play this? Are other DJs gonna like it? Is this person gonna like it? Who cares? Like, I think people get trapped into that too much. And I was I still do to this day. I still get trapped into it. I want to make music that is going to get played, that people are going to like. Of course, everybody wants to do that, but ultimately, I want to make music because I like to make music,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
want
I
to
think
make what I like.
I think another thing people get trapped into when making music is like trying to make things overly complex. It's like it doesn't
Yeah.
if you do that, it goes over people's heads. And it's like when you think about songs that have been released that are like hits, so many hit songs are just so simple.
Oh,
And
for sure. Look
it,
at
it
every Calvin Harris record. Every major Calvin Harris record, his melodies are very simple. He has very basic like backing guitars or piano or whatever. It's very simple, but it's
yeah.
put together very well. And then it's what you do with after it, you
Mhm.
know? I always like when I was working for a marketing company and people would ask me about marketing and stuff like that. I'm like, or logos, like let's say I'm doing a logo. I would tell them it doesn't really matter what the logo looks like for the most part. It's what you do with the logo. It's how you use that logo, what you do with it, how you put that logo out there. And then from there, it's what your product is. If your product is a good product, it's going to sell eventually. You know what I'm saying?
I always use the band
But
Corn as an example. It's a fucking vegetable, right? But if you look at the way that they flipped that, and just like you said, their imagery and their branding and everything else, you don't look at it as a fucking vegetable anymore. It's like they're, hardcore fucking band.
yeah, look at the Target logo. Like what it is right
Yeah,
when you see it. You don't have to see Target at all. The
right.
name Target. All you have to do is see the red circle with the
Yeah,
circle around it. It's Target,
yeah.
but it's literally just two circles. So it's not what you have; it's what you do with what you have.
Right.
And that can go with using Splice and using Ableton, and a lot of people ask me, which DAW do you like better? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Like
matter.
whatever you're comfortable with, use it. Use Fruity Loops, use Pro Tools. I've used them all. I've used
Right.
Cubase, I've used Logic, I've used Pro Tools, I've used Acid Pro. That's what I started off on. I used Reason. I used a lot of stuff, and it's whatever you're comfortable with, and just learn it through and through.
You got a
That's it.
favorite plugin or favorite anything of your production you want to throw out there?
Serum. I use that
Serum.
a lot,
Okay.
religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the one.
Uh, with that being said, let's get into some of the picks. We always like hearing from guys what they're playing, or if there's any theme behind it or whatever. Just let us know and kind of talk us through some of these picks for today.
Yeah, I mean, no real theme behind it, but just stuff that's been working for me over the last like month or so. The first one is my edit of Bar Song by Shaboozey.
And people can find your stuff on Club Killers, right?
No.
No. Okay. Sorry. I thought it
Some stuff.
was.
So uh
Okay.
we can get into it, but like Sony has a lock on a lot of the record pools, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Those
So
who
Yeah,
shall
yeah.
not be named. That.
yeah. So a lot of the edits I've been doing are owned by Sony because they own a
Right.
lot of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So I don't really bother with doing that. But you
Well,
can like all my stuff's on my Patreon.
okay. That's where I was saying where they could find it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
So,
right.
I think it's patreon.com/Mr. Gray Music or something like that. But you can just look up Mr. Gray on Patreon and it'll be me more than
Yeah.
likely. I also upload a lot of my stuff to zipdj.com, which I think a lot of people don't even know about, but they're based out of Canada, I believe, and I don't think the same rules apply to them. So they have everything on there. And also, if you're looking for like all sorts of EDM, that is literally the place to go for sure. Like
All
I
right.
get so much stuff from there.
And so
Anyways,
this is your remix of that of Shaboozey.
yeah, well, my edit, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Breathe Carolina did the original song that I used in the edit. So
Yeah.
it's basically Shaboozey versus Breathe Carolina.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it goes off because the bar song song is huge. and has
Yeah.
been for quite a few months,
Yeah.
and still is, and it's a fun record,
Yeah.
you know. So that's a good one that really goes off. The Rick Wonder edit of "Thank You" by Dimitri Vegas, like Mike Tiesto and W&W. I mean, such a great record to bring back by Dido. I
Yep.
mean, I remember when that came out and all the remixes that came with it, and her voice is amazing. She's so
Yeah.
good. But yeah, Rick Wonder's edit is so good. I mean, he hits them out of the park. I know when I get one of his edits, it's a banger.
Yeah.
And then Waka Flocka, No Hands. I did an edit of that. That goes over with almost every crowd.
Always. Yep.
Yeah, and it's not too aggressive to where it can't be played at like bars and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's number 3. Number 4 is the Central C and Lil Baby, Band for Band. My edit of that. That goes over pretty well. Unfortunately, most people don't know the actual verse, so they're kind of sitting around twiddling their thumbs. But like once the drop comes in with the chorus, it really goes off for sure.
Yeah.
And then finally the $1 Million Baby, Tommy Richman, but the Brody Jenner remix is phenomenal.
Interesting.
So good.
Okay.
So good. Yeah. He basically, like, there's no downtime with it as far as like taken away from the original song, like
Right.
like the breakdown is the original instrumental basically, and then his high pitched voice comes in, and then when the kick drum comes in, and like the vocals are still going, and it works so well.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. Awesome. Those are all good picks, and we will be posting. If you're just listening and you don't have time to write it down, the text will be in the description of the YouTube video for the picks. And one of the things that we like to do before we wrap on the podcast, we call this the sauce, and it's just any advice that you would give your younger self, any advice to a younger DJ. We're gonna roll this video, and then we'll come back to it.
Perfect.
It's Bootsy, baby. And this shout out goes out to Drew and Fuse, all the way from Cincinnati to the LBC Bobble. Yeah, I was told you guys are quite the chefs, and you got a delicious sauce that you cook up. Ooh, and it drips that swagoo and breaks down the recipe. Yeah, and you giving up the pig, cause it's funky. As in good, that is, finger funkin' good. On the one by the power of the one. Yeah, without that, there is none. So get yours and be in tune with the one that loves you. Get it, baby.
Oh man, I love you guys. That's so good. I want to see every single one of those you guys have. I need to see them immediately.
Oh,
they're awesome.
There is a very deep catalog of they change every week. Well, hit us with the rest of pre.
So if you can see the shirt that I'm wearing, it says "Never give up."
Yeah.
That's my advice. Never give up. Like I believe that more people should follow their dreams, and I think the world would be a better place if people did that.
Yeah.
I think there's too many people that settle and kind of get trapped into it, and they leave their dreams on a back burner. But I'm the type of person that likes to dream big, and I tell my kids this all the time. I'm like, look, whatever you need to do to be truly happy, do that. As long as it's not hurting anybody, do that. Just be happy. You have one life. Live it to the best of your ability and make sure that you're ultimately happy, like truly happy. There's a lot of fake happiness out there, but you need to be truly happy because you only have one life. Might as well make it the best it can possibly be.
Yeah.
Why not?
I was telling my kid that the other Saturday night. She was texting me, "Oh, I miss you. Like, what are you doing?" And I just took a picture of the club. She's like, "Oh, looks like a normal a normal work day for you." And I'm like, I do what I love. Do what you love, and you'll never work.
Yeah.
And I just got that off the back of the Back to the Future, Marty McFly's dad, right? What is
Yes.
that? In the forward on the back, took
I
that
love it.
from that movie. So yeah,
Yeah, but
um,
that's it. I mean, for any aspiring DJs or anybody that that is thinking like, oh man, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what's going on next. Just keep doing it. Just push forward, and if it's something that you really enjoy doing, not just because it's a cool way to get chicks or whatever, uh, like just keep doing it.
yeah,
Struggle. I struggled for years and
yeah,
years and years, financially, mentally, physically, but I'm in a very, very happy place right now because I stuck with it. You know, I
agreed.
never gave up, and I try to be the exception to the rule. I tell my son that he's a baseball player, and he's my size. I'm 5'9", 190 pounds. He's not a big kid,
Yeah,
and he pitches. He's a good pitcher, but not many under 6 foot tall pitchers out there. So I always tell him your work ethic and your drive needs to be better than everybody else's.
yeah,
That's what's going to set you apart from anybody else. And, be the exception to the rule.
right.
Why not?
Agree.
It happens. The Reds got Sam Maul. He's only 5'9".
Oh,
So
there we go.
yeah.
Oh, I totally forgot that you're the Reds DJ. Man, I need
Yeah.
to come up there and go to a Reds game.
Dude, anytime. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
know. No, I think it's great advice. Never give up. I wouldn't be here. Drew wouldn't be here. If there's always challenges to everything, and you got to keep pushing through if you really want it. And I mean, look at all of us. COVID happened, and we're all still here doing the same thing. And it's a testament to being able to get through stuff and keep it going.
Yeah.
Before we wrap, just hit us with anything you want to promote. We know you got the new album coming out later this year. And again, where everybody can find you on social media and all that.
Yeah, so all my social media is pretty much at DJ Mr. Gray. I'm mostly on Instagram or TikTok. I believe TikTok might be Mr. Gray Music. I'm horrible with that, honestly. My memory's real bad.
Well, you do have a website, and it's on your website.
Yeah. So MrGrayMusic.com. I have that website. You can go there. Yeah, so I'm in South Carolina, September 21st at Ritual in Charleston, South Carolina. And then I'm playing up in State College, Pennsylvania in November. I believe it's November 1st. Yeah, and then November 9th, I'll be back in Pennsylvania at Live Casino. So that's going to be cool. And then I'm back in Tampa at the end of October. I think the 26th or something like that. But other than that, Ruin and we just put out the Jagged Edge Let's Get Married remix, which has been it's been getting a lot of good feedback. You can find that on my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Mr. Gray Music. And then, the album, I'm looking to drop it December 8th. It's going to be called Swept Under the Rug. And it's not like anything that you've heard from me before. So it should be interesting. And it's basically stuff that I really love and made me fall in love with electronic music, which is like Fatboy Slim and Chemical Brothers and Moby and all that like late 90s, like breakbeat, big beat type stuff.
I love it.
Love
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sample based, and like I have a couple like acid house records on there and stuff.
Dope. Can't wait to hear
Looking
it.
forward to hearing it. Yeah. And if there's ever anything we can help with, or get music up on DMS or whatever, whatever you're trying to push, just let us know. We're happy to help.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, definitely.
And I'll try and make it down for my first strip club night ever.
Yeah, definitely. I'll show you around.
He'll be there the next day when you get there too.
Yeah.
I'll have to start saving some money.
Yeah, we'll set you up in the whale room. we had a girl stay there for like 3 days straight.
That's crazy.
She won some like big lawsuit or something and got like millions of dollars, and she literally just was at E11ven for 3 days. It was it was the wildest thing. There's some crazy people out there. Some crazy people.
What? I don't buy it.
Anyway,
well, I'm gonna go see my first debauchery ever.
Yes,
and I'm gonna do it at the craziest spot in the country.
We're ready for you.
Love it. Cool. Well, that's gonna wrap the show for today. So thank you so much for coming on with us, and thank you to all the listeners. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Later.